The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Happiness Jungle with yours truly, Chief Happiness Officer Lyn-Dee Eldridge. I'm very excited right now because we get to Skype a very special and dear friend of mine from Seattle, Washington. Cynthia Simmons is one of my mentors. She inspires me, and I have a feeling that she is going to just inspire the dog dickens out of you, too. We're talking about got cancer, get strength, and never give up. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Oh, my goodness. With looking at you now, I'm fabulous. I'm more fabulous than ever. Thank you for coming into my world. Thank you for, isn't it amazing technology how we could be in the same place and be Skyping?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love this. We're across the country from each other and we're so connected.
And it all happened at a phone call at around 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Crazy, huh?
You never forget that as long as I live.
I know. That's insane. And now I get to enjoy some more time with you. Fabulous. I love how the universe brings people together. And a matter of fact, when we spoke at 12:30, it was completely on a different platform, wasn't it?
It was. It absolutely was. And you being Lyn-Dee, you said on a call me anytime and I will answer. And I tested you and you did. You answered at 12:30 midnight your time. It was 9:30 for me on the West Coast, but it was midnight for you, and you did. You answered that phone.
Wow, and we had a really amazing conversation. That went on for about another hour to an hour and a half. I remember it as if it was yesterday.
Yes, it did. It was a very lengthy call, and it's been history since then. Wow, that's been many years ago.
You believe it?
I know. We've shared a lot of laughs. We've shared a lot of tears.
Yes.
We've shared many things over those past few years, but we've always stayed connected.
Yeah, well, one of the reasons that you inspire me so much, and you're going to inspire my audience, you know, the Happiness Jungle Show is all about our audience being able to take action, to be able to leave our show and go, I could do that. I could do something about that. And when I think about all of the people that come in my path, you really stick out. You are an angel. You're a survivor. But you're so inspiring. I love how you say, you know what, science has my whole body in jars. I'm like, what does that mean? Can you share that? Because your outlook of life, where your body is in so many jars, and the way that you chalk it up to experience and growth. I want you to talk to our audience about that, because there are people out there that are going to be able to relate to you and go say, well, my goodness, if her body's in jars, and she got through that, I could get through this, and that's how I'm going to do it too. So, Cynthia, please share whatever it is that you want to share with the audience.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lyn-Dee. And it is true. I do have, when I go into Safeway, and I think I was sharing this with you one day, when I go into Safeway, we're in October right now. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I go into Safeway or any grocery store, and, they'll say, would you like to donate to the Breast Cancer Research Fund? And my response to them every time is, I already gave a boob. I think I'm good. I've given enough. I don't think I want. It's in a jar somewhere, and they're using it for research. So, no, I'll pass. Somebody else can fund that. But, for me, it was in '93. I had cervical cancer. In 2003, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I lost a really good job. We had 5 kids still at home, and that income was lost just immediately overnight. Washington State has something called at will employment, which means they can hire you and fire you at will. So there's a few states within the United States that do that, and they don't need any reason or, and there's not a lot you can do about it. And so I was fired from a great job, and I still had a little one that I needed to take to daycare when I was going to chemo. And it was very hurtful to us as a family financially. I got up one morning to go to chemo, and my car was gone. And they had come and got it in the middle of the night. And so I thought, well, now what? What do I do now? And so, but to make a long story short, I got well. I fought through the breast cancer. I did my chemo. I did my radiation. I got back on my feet, and I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back into nursing because, nursing, you think your health, if I were to get sick again, they would understand. So I got a job at the hospital. It was my dream job, something I always wanted. And I thought this was the plan that God had for me. That's why all of this happened. And I was working in the OR, and I got sick again. And they thought the breast cancer had come back, but it wasn't breast cancer. And they had diagnosed me with everything under the sun: COPD, emphysema, asthma, gout, lupus. They said that I had multiple sclerosis, and they were just grabbing at straws. It took them almost a year to diagnose me. I lost a lot of body parts in between that time. I lost lung, I lost liver, and it attacked my eyes. It attacked the mastoid and temporal bone of my skull. I lost teeth over it because it attacked the gums. It attacked the skin. I was just in bad shape. Well, lo and behold, they found out what it was, again, sending parts of my body out of state. Some scientists did some research, and they found it was called Langerhans cell histiocytosis, which is like leukemia, only it doesn't attack my blood, so you would never know from doing blood work. Even though it is an illness of the blood, just like leukemia, my white blood cells attack everything in the body except the blood. And so it had gone rampant. And it was kind of crazy because there wasn't a doctor here in the state that could treat me. And they said to me, let's give it 6 months and see what happens. And I said, no. If it was your mom, if it was your sister, would you wait 6 months? And so I told them, I said, I'll find my own help. And I went on a mission to find help. And I started searching for doctors. And I found some doctors at Texas State University and at Johns Hopkins University that were doing research. And I contacted them, and they contacted my doctors here and said, this is all research protocol. We don't have anything for this illness. There's no cure. There's no known cause. So they put me in what they call research protocol treatment. And I was in chemo Monday through Friday. And I ended up with toxemia.
Oh, my goodness.
So they took me off, and they said, we don't have anything else for you. We wish you the best of luck. You have multiple vital organ involvement with poor prognosis, at best 6 months. Take your last vacation. And I'd never seen Vegas. I wanted to see Vegas. So my husband took me to Vegas. And when I came back, Lyn-Dee, I was sitting right here in this chair where I'm sitting right now. And I was looking out the window, and I was watching these two squirrels play. They were running around a tree, chasing each other. And it was October, because October 10th was the day when they gave me that great news, you have 6 months. And I was watching these squirrels play outside, and a leaf fell from the tree. And I watched that leaf fall from the tree to the ground. I had never in my lifetime sat long enough to watch a leaf take the end of life that it has been given and go from the tree to the ground. And so I'm thinking about that. I'm like, you know what? There's a purpose for everything. There is a time for everything. I've got 6 months. I better get busy. So I wrote an ebook called A Breast Cancer Notification, the gory details that they don't tell you. I started a blog talk radio show. At that time, it was Cancer Talk with Cynthia. I started looking online for different things and came across a website that said get paid to drink coffee. And I thought, how bizarre is that? I've been drinking coffee all my life. Now, like a slap in the face, they're paying people to drink coffee. Now I'm out of here. Now they decide to pay people to drink coffee. This is
now I'm out of here. Oh yeah.
It's like crazy. You're thinking, what? They're paying people to drink coffee now when I'm leaving?
Right. Oh, your outlook is so...
I ended up joining a business, and I started for the first time ever in my life. The one thing I had always talked so bad about, people who did network marketing, I was like, oh, that's terrible. Who does that? And so that's kind of where it all started. Back then I grabbed the horse by the reins and I said, you know what? If I'm out of here, I'm going to do something before I leave. I can't just leave and not leave my children anything. I have to leave these kids something to be proud of their mama for, and that's what I wanted to do. And so I got busy. When I started with that company, I ended up doing the 2011 Emmys. I did the MTV Movie Awards, and I did the BET Awards. And then I got connected with the most amazing people in Hollywood who are still my friends today. And I sometimes I have to pinch myself and go, I can't believe what cancer has done for me and the doors that have been opened that I would have never looked towards. I would have never looked in this direction. I would have just kept working 9 to 5.
Cynthia, though, I have to give you kudos because you refuse to give up. That is exactly your message. You refused to give up. And you said, wait a second, wait a minute. They're paying someone to drink coffee? And you were just mesmerized by that, and you went ahead and you created a financial legacy for your children. But here's what I want you to know. You've created a spiritual legacy for everybody else. The way you look at cancer as it's a gift. If it wasn't for cancer, you wouldn't have been able to meet the people that you know in California, in Hollywood, the celebrities. You never would have been able to accomplish what you've accomplished. And yet, I could only imagine, the pain within that you also decided, oh, no. I can understand this pain, but it can't stop me. And you went with it because you were told that you only had a certain amount of time to live, and you're still here with us. And I think a lot of it has contributed to your positive mindset to pull through it.
I've had a lot of doctors. I'll go in to see a specialist, or a doctor will request to see me because of the things that I've gone through, and they want to know, what are you doing, and how am I doing it? As if I'm some sort of alien from Mars. And they'll come into the room and into the exam room, and they'll walk in with the chart in their hand, and they'll go, looking for Cynthia? And I'll say, I'm Cynthia, and they're like, wow, I mean, just looking at your chart, I thought I was going to see somebody on a gurney or something.
Wow.
Sorry to disappoint.
No.
Let me tell you, I have a really cute story. Well, I guess it's not a cute story. A story. I got a phone call in August of 2010, I think it was. And I was on the way with my daughter. We were going to the park. It was summer. It was beautiful. I get a phone call from a doctor who says, I'm a surgeon. I was just contacted by your oncologist to call you. He said, we have some tests that have come back. We need you to come in immediately. And I said, for what? And he said, we need to do an emergency surgery. He said, is there any way you can come into my office today? And I said, I'm out with my daughter. We're going to the park. And I said, okay, fine, I'll come in. So I go into this doctor's office who I've never met before. I go to the hospital that day, and I meet with him, and they said that, it's completely all over the liver. We have to take you in immediately and do an emergency surgery within the next couple of days. And he said the surgery is extensive, and he said you'll probably be in the hospital a good 10 days. He said because the liver is, it bleeds a lot, so we really have to watch the healing. And so I met with him that day. We get done talking. I thought, well, if I'm going to be in the hospital for 10 days, I better go buy the grocery and grab some things for the house, for the kids and for my husband. I go to the grocery store and I slipped on a piece of ice and shattered my elbow into 1,000 pieces.
Oh, McGillicuddy.
I had a complete radial head just destruction. It just destroyed it. That hospital that I had left, 20 minutes later, I was right back. The doctor I had talked to was the doctor on call. He comes into the ER and he looks at me and he goes, "Didn't I just talk to you?" And I said, "Yes, you did." And he said, "Oh, we have a real issue now." He said, "Because your breast cancer's on that side, and now you've gone and shattered this radial head." He said, "We need to do surgery on your arm." He said, "But now we need to decide, do we do surgery on the liver or surgery on the arm first?" So they ended up doing the surgery on my liver first. I signed out of the hospital 10 days later. And then I had to go up front to the front office and sign right back in. But under, because it's a new doctor, it's a new surgeon. So, people were, and I was still, just having fun and carrying on. But I didn't let it stop me. One-armed bandit is what I was at that time. Wow. Yeah.
That's incredible. And I want to talk about, we spoke a few nights ago, we were talking about wealth and how we need to accept it and embrace it because we've made such an investment within ourselves. And we spoke about how there are certain people out there are many people out there that sell things for a cause, but they've never been affected by the cause. Remember that discussion we had?
Absolutely.
And you were sharing with me that you and your husband were speaking, and you just don't want to create an income because of cancer. And I think that we accomplished that obstacle, didn't we?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I think I felt guilty. And it's amazing because we've known so many people, my husband and I, that when I was sick, they thought for sure they were coming to my funeral. And we have since lost so many people to cancer. And, there is a survivor guilt that comes over you. And, I see people selling cancer items, clothing, hats, scarves, earrings, you name it, they sell it. Let me tell you, they sell a lot of stuff with ribbons on it. People get tattoos on their bodies with ribbons. And so I never wanted to do that, because I would ask people, where's the money going? Oh, it's going to research. And I thought, research? They've been doing research since like the 1600s. They're not going to find a cure for cancer because when the cure comes, somebody's going to shut it down. Because what would happen if a cure was found for cancer? Yes, they find things that may alleviate some symptoms or help you get through. There was some medications that they wanted me to take for breast cancer right after I had my mastectomy and stuff, and I refused to take it because it could cause another cancer. And so in my chart, you'll see a lot of times it's written non-compliant, but it's okay. I was always told as a child that I was non-compliant. Why change now?
You're so funny. You're so delightful. So when we spoke, we were talking about this fabulous clothing line that you are coming out with, and I'm so excited about that. I want everyone to know that if for whatever reason you are surviving any kind of illness like you, okay, and you have invested a lot, because you are different than the people that are just making money off of the cause. I've never had cancer. I don't even know anybody that had cancer, but I decided that there's a business here and I'm going to sell shirts and I'm going to, profit off of this. And you felt like, well, that's terrible. And it kind of put that wall up for you that you weren't giving yourself permission to be able to make people feel better with your line that's called Never Give Up. But meanwhile, you've invested so much of yourself in this cancer. The cancer is definitely, you've paid your dues and you have every right to be able to bring value to cancer and be able to make a difference while making a living. So I want to give you permission, and not that I'm the holier than thou, but you have absolutely everybody's permission to be able to make a difference while making a living because you are a survivor. So for the people that are in our audience, if you're dealing with any kind of a challenge, a health challenge, and you could figure out a way how you could create some income with that, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. You're investing your time, your health, your money, you're educating yourself. So don't feel like the people that are out there just to make a profit, that you don't deserve to make a profit, because you do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, Lyn-Dee, I want to thank you for that because, sometimes we need somebody to kind of give us that nudge, and say, it's okay to do this, and you don't need to feel guilty about making money off of cancer because everybody else is making, the pharmaceutical companies, and you and I don't, if you remember that little talk about the funeral home, when I said I went into, I made all my own funeral arrangements and had a heck of a day with the funeral director. We laughed so hard because he couldn't believe that I was coming in to make my own funeral arrangements. But I do believe that sometimes things happen in life and God gives us something that he knows we can handle that perhaps someone else couldn't have, and to create something from that. And so I've been blessed. Cancer, has been, it sounds terrible to say it, but cancer has been a blessing to me. And I still struggle with it. Yes, I get tired. I probably don't have the energy that everybody else has, but I keep pushing myself. I just keep pushing myself. I want to see my grandbabies grow up. I want to see my kids succeed. And so if tomorrow doesn't come for me, I feel blessed that I've met so many amazing people and that I was given this time to make any little change that I could make in the lives of any person and give them hope, to just get up and keep pushing and never, ever give up. And that's the NGU line that we're going to be coming out with. I can't wait. I'm really excited. Again, that's a good, for instance, my friend Santiago, who is a clothing designer in Hollywood. I met him when I was down there at one of the events that I was doing. We got connected. I was always trying to help someone else build their product, their line. And he said to me, Cynthia, what about you? Why don't you build you a line of clothing? And I said, me? Really? And he said, sure. He said, I think it'd be great. And I said, well, I kind of always wanted to. I said, because I see all these lingerie places that don't have anything for women who have battled with breast cancer. And I see everybody else making money off of it. And he said, let's do it. So he and I are working together, and I feel blessed that God put him in my life and that he's willing to do that.
I love it. And you're proving it time and time again with everything that you shared with us, that your inner core circle is so important, because you never know where the blessings are going to be. So if you're in that doom and gloom, there are so many people, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, that go to the support groups, but I've seen the support groups, and it's all about they're down and they're depressed and they're the woe's me. And you're like, no, thank you. That's not the kind of support group that I want to go into. I want to go into a support group that I'm going to feel like I'm alive and I'm blessed because I know I have another minute left, so I'm taking it. And that's what you bring. I mean, it's, Oy, oy, oy.
I never forget my doctor saying to me, Cynthia, we have a support group that we'd like for you to participate in. You know, it's for the breast cancer. I went to one session.
Enough was
and
enough.
I sat there. Yeah. And I sat there, and the first thing that I heard before we even got started was, and I don't want to say this in a way that just, you know, the lady said, and I'm just going to make up a name because I'm sorry, Susie's not here this evening. She lost her battle this week. And I thought, what? I don't want to come back next week and hear Patty's not here. And then the week after that, okay, Janice isn't here. And until we get down to and I thought, no, I'm not coming. This will be my one and only support group. Yeah. I'll support myself, and I'll find friends and family and whoever wants to have fun and laugh. And I can't do this. Yeah. You know, it just was so.
I applaud you for that.
It was so negative. It was so bad. It was sad.
How can you heal from that? It's a
doom
and
sad.
gloom. Cynthia, I can't believe it. We're running out of time. I want everybody to stay. I know. I want everybody to stay connected to you. Can you please share with them how they can get a hold of you, because you are inspiring so many people today?
Absolutely. I would love for people to get connected with me. You know, I have thecancerbiz.com, the $1 billion business. Also, I'm on Blog Talk Radio, Coffee Talk with Cynthia. Please feel free to call me anytime or text me via cell 253-921-4736. Or you can type into Google Cynthia Simmons, coffee, cancer. You'll find me. I've taken over Google.
I am telling you, you are a Google queen. Absolutely. I am very, very excited. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't believe we're out of time. You've inspired so many. Look, we've never said that life was easy, but we did say you can be happier. You have choices of what kind of support groups that you want to be in. Don't go to the doom and glooms. Go to where you're going to be inspired to create your today, your now moment, and live each moment as if it was your last, because you just never know. Cynthia, my goodness, thank goodness for 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, when the precious lady decided you were going to test me, and it's been love ever since. I can't wait to be in Seattle with you. I know we're putting together an event in July, and I am excited about that. From my heart to yours, Cynthia, I adore you. Thank you so much for being on the Happiness Jungle.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you. Oh, I just want to hug you, hug you, hug you. I love you. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Thank you, sweetie.
Such a doll.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.